The Premier lauds people practicing urban agriculture in Addis Ababa. And humanitarian aid being delivered to Tigray region within 3 corridors. Good morning, you're watching Addis News Hour. I'm Zoltan Desalegn. Thank you for joining us and do stay tuned. The Ethiopian Government Communication Service announced that the government is transporting humanitarian supplies to the Tigray region in various corridors in cooperation with international development partners to reach citizens who need urgent humanitarian assistance. Consistent with the peace agreement signed in Pretoria, the government of Ethiopia is ensuring its effective implementation. The federal government is exerting all efforts to deliver humanitarian assistance and restore basic services in the Tigray region. The delivery of humanitarian assistance is being undertaken through multiple corridors, which are the corridors of Gondar, Kombolcha, and Samara. 34 trucks in total confirmed arrival and offloading in Mekelle town in the Tigray region. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed lauded people practicing urban agriculture in Addis Ababa. During a quick stopover at a farm by a sturdily built Abarash, Abiy said the effort exerted by the likes of Abarash should be replicated elsewhere. His visit to the farm is part of the government's Yelemat Trufat development campaign, which focuses on nutritional opulence. Johannes Fontaine has the rest of the story. Take a look.
Abarash Wakjiwa is a dedicated woman farmer who has successfully carried out integrated urban agriculture in her backyard. Wakjiwa is managing her family of 17 with the income fetched by agriculture on a small plot of land.
I love gardening, and it has always held a special place in my heart. This might not be a complete list, but papaya, bananas, avocados, olives, apples, zucchini, coffee, honey, and vegetables are some of the crops grown here. I also raise such animals as cows, sheep, goats, and chickens.
It is to be recalled that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed launched the Yelemat Trufat development campaign, which focuses on nutritional opulence in early November. Lemat is a kind of traditional food container, and in this context represents a link between farmers, pastoralists, and consumers.
Currently, this lady is working very hard on this small plot of land. Her effort is still excellent given her age-related decline in energy. In her backyard, there are numerous crop seedlings, including lettuce, spinach, peppers, and tomatoes. I want to emphasize how crucial this is for the great legacy. She also produces poultry and cattle and engages in beekeeping in accordance with the Yelemat Trufat, which has recently got underway in earnest. She informed us that the chickens must produce at least 70 eggs each day, and that the daily honey harvest from the beehives can reach 5 kilograms.
Calling upon Ethiopians to replicate the efforts of Abarash and other fellow urban agriculturalists, the Premier went on to say that the effort helps ensure food security.
Now, let us take this scenario in which every member of a given household could enjoy 20 to 25 liters of milk per day. Also, if one produces food using the vertical method, it will produce the food shortage at the family level and reduce the food demand affecting the nation at the national level. The world we live in is so unpredictable that if we don't feed ourselves, we remain in a precarious state. This is all by way of encouraging urban agriculture.
Prime Minister Abiy noted that food self-sufficiency is directly linked to national sovereignty and dignity, and Yelemat Trufat campaign accelerates efforts to achieve food self-sufficiency at the family and national levels.
a project that aims at strengthening the resilience of disaster-affected communities through durable solutions in Oromia and Somali regions, has been launched in Addis Ababa. The project, which costs some $18.8 million, is funded by the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, SDC, and the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency. It is a joint project implemented by the Food and Agriculture Organization, United Nations Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat, and the International Organization for Migration, IOM. The project, which will be implemented in Oromia and Somali regions, aims to provide internally displaced persons and communities affected by displacement with durable solutions. According to the Ethiopian News Agency, the 4-year project is expected to benefit some 54,400 individuals in the two regions. The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Demeke Mekonnen, said it is necessary to build a diplomatic force that fits the current diplomatic fabrics. For this goal, efforts are made to produce young and visionary diplomats and to bring productive and effective diplomatic activities to the nation. Tugusernes has the following account. Take a look.
Ethiopia, one of few early African countries admitted to the League of Nations, becoming a member on 28 September 1923 and was one of the founding members of the United Nations. The foreign relation of Ethiopia refers to overall diplomatic relationship of Ethiopia. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs oversees foreign relations and diplomatic missions of the country. Ethiopian diplomatic endeavors started over 120 years back. Seasoned diplomats in the ministry have been sharing their years of experience to junior diplomats. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeke Mekonnen underscored on the occasion that diplomatic force that will keep in mind the honor of one's country, a strong and responsible diplomatic force is needed for the benefit of the general public.
እኛ በተሰማራንበት መስክ ከ120 ሚሊዮን ህዝብ
In a field we are engaged in, when we land in this place, out of 101 million people, a great country and people is behind us and paying every price. We need to do diploma work that suits our public. Honor and respect is earned in a strong country with a strong diplomacy with this weapon.
የየትኞቹ ሀገሮች ፓስፖርት መዳረሻው ሰፊ እንደሆነ
Professor Biruk Hailu, among the seasoned diplomats, underscored that it is necessary to build a diplomatic force that it fits the current diplomatic fabrics and makes Ethiopia competitive in the world.
ዲፕሎማሲያችን አዲስ ፊት፣ አዲስ ፌስ፣ አዲስ ኢሜጅ
For our diplomacy needs a new image that is modern enough to compete with these new diplomatic fabrics. Lessons should be taken from seasoned diplomats to go further and in line with government policies and strategies. These shared practices need to put into practice for the future.
ተግባራዊ የሚሆን ነውና በዛ መልክ መታየት እንዳለበት ይታየኛል።
Various training and informative activities are being provided by the ministry so that Ethiopia can have qualified and skilled replacement diplomats. Young diplomats urged that these trainings should be strengthened and continued.
በጣም ቀጣይነት ባለው መልኩ የስልጠናና የልምድ
Training as such should be strengthened and continued, and on top of that, the diplomats themselves should update themselves in line with the changing technological advancements and through reading as well.
ለተለያዩ ነገሮች ራሱን ኤክስፖዝ ማድረግ ይኖርበታል።
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also announced that the roadmap for the improvement of foreign relations for the future and restoration activities are being carried out.
After the peace agreement signed between the federal government and TPLF, peace is being restored in Ethiopia. In this December, we will bring to you fresh stories about the implementation of the peace agreement and other socio-economic and political matters of the country. Watch us on English language channel every day at 9 p.m.
ETV English, the voice of Renaissance and diversity, will bring you up to speed with latest developments regarding New Year and Christmas, especially Ethiopian Christmas named Ganna. Follow us on social media platforms. Stay tuned to ETV Language channel.
32 countries are contending to lift up the most prestigious cup in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. This December, ETV Language will provide the World Cup updates. Stay tuned to ETV Languages.
The Ethiopian National Dialogue Commission has revealed its schedule to conduct the National Dialogue by March 2023. The Commission presented its ongoing activities and work plans to the House of People's Representatives. Gathering discussion agenda will be conducted from January to February, as drafting the agendas will be taking place from February to March 2023. Presenting the activities undertaken by the Commission and its next plans to the House, the Commission Chairman, Professor Mesfin Araya, affirmed that the historic national dialogue will begin by the coming March. Professor Mesfin said the Commission has been engaged in various preparation activities vital to the effective conduct of the national dialogue to help bring national consensus. All segments of the society will be given equal participation and voice during the course of the national dialogue. The 48th Ordinary Session of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development IGAD Council of Ministers convened in Khartoum, Republic of the Sudan on November 30th. In his opening remark, Dr. Workneh Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD, said positive developments have been witnessed in peacemaking and stability in the region, citing the recently concluded peace agreement in Ethiopia, where IGAD played a pivotal role. Dr. Workneh noted it is indeed a welcome development for the people and government of Ethiopia, the region, and the continent at large. The Executive Secretary further said IGAD is working closely with member states to respond to challenges including climate change, drought, pest invasions, and seasonal flooding, which are contributing to food insecurity. And Demek Mekonnen, the Ethiopian foreign minister, underlined that peace and security situation is of a paramount importance in the region and noted the unwavering support of member states during those difficult days is cherished by the people of Ethiopia. Shire residents in Tigray have welcomed the peace agreement signed between the government of Ethiopia and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, TPLF, and affirmed their commitment to support its implementation. The residents of Shire called upon the aid agencies to further continue aid delivery activities in the region, and it is to be recalled that the government of Ethiopia has been striving to avoid such devastating conflict and resolve differences peacefully before and during the conflict. Let's take a look.
The donations were given are great. Due to the conflict, we have been under terrible conditions for more than 2 years. However, after the signed peace agreement, it feels like an utter pleasure because donations are available. If the assistance reaches every member of the community, it will be fantastic. Peace is crucial not just only for humans but also for animals. For instance, during a large artillery explosion, even a bird on top of a tree would relocate to other areas. The same is true for the local wildlife and domestic animals. As a result, we are pleased with the signed peace agreement, which is crucial. Peace is a key instrument for all. And I feel good now. I can walk and eat. Therefore, the dispute is going to be resolved in such a manner. We all want this peace agreement. When you compare today's population with the previous one, you can see a paramount improvement. This time, we will hear something better. Recently, death, conflict, instability, and other negative things have gone. Now, however, it seems that everyone is open to hearing about a better peace. As you are already aware, a kilogram of sugar was sold for 800 Ethiopian birr, since the traders were unable to deliver it due to the conflict in the past. People find this to be quite tough. I am now overjoyed with these accomplishments.
You're watching Addis News Hour, and we have arrived at the segment of What's Been Trending, and I'm joined by our staff member, Daniel Kassaun. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning to you.
So, as we have arrived to the trending segment, of which we have to talk about what's been trending over the past 24 hours, let's, I think, talk about what happened actually yesterday. Well, a lot of Ethiopian or Christian Orthodox faith followers celebrated the Hadar 21st, or the observance of the Saint Mary Day of Hadar 21st at Aksum. And as opposed to that, of course, 2 years ago, that was not possible. And after 2 years after the Pretoria Agreement, it somehow began to be possible. And I think you have more to elaborate on that.
All right. Peace dividend is being enjoyed in the northern part of Ethiopia. Previously, there were humanitarian assistances are being delivered very well in that part of the country, and medical supplies were being supplied there, and also restoration activities. There were lots of destruction there because of the war, and reconstruction activities are being underway there. And fortunately, yesterday, the faithfuls of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church celebrated their annual Virgin Mary's Day, and that was a religious event, and it was very nice. And we have heard from the celebrants that they were praying and looking for this day, and it has gone very well. And they're hopeful that in the days to come, the peace agreement or the peace accord will be actively run, and they wish every situations can come back to normalcy. There are problems there, even transportation, electric light supply. Still, they're looking for normalcy there, but they are hopeful. The location is in the northern part of Ethiopia. St. Mary Church is the head church of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and a structure is a replica of the Jewish church in Jerusalem, and that was a magnificent. I had the chance to visit it once, and very attractive church and very sacred place. Besides it, you find the obelisks of Aksum, which are already inscribed by UNESCO World Heritage Site. And visiting that place means, like the Muslims, at least in their lifetime, at least they are zealous to visit Mecca, Medina once at least in their lifetime. For Ethiopians Orthodox Church faithfuls, it's the same. At least the faithfuls in the Ethiopian Orthodox Christians, it is expected for them, or they wish to visit that place at least once in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. The place is local visitors frequently visit that place. Local and also foreign visitors, they've used to visit it frequently. Now things are getting better, and we expect more local and foreign tourists, not at only this annual event, but anytime. It's a place where you find local and foreign tourists visiting every time. If you are to visit Ethiopia, that's the place, one of the best places to be visited, because you find it, at least the area is already well known by scientists and archaeologists, and that's a place already the best place registered among the Ethiopian heritage in the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Now, what's needed now is citizen-centered approach to build the peace there. That's what we heard from the faithfuls who took part in that place, told our journalists who is being there, who reported from there, that they want to sacrifice their life for the peace process. Already they are hopeful that the peace process is well underway, and it will be developed gradually, and they are looking for it. And the area has to be well preserved. There are some infrastructures needed there. If the peace process going well, and if restoration activities are well underway, hopefully next year, we will have a very better celebration there.
Thank you, Daniel, for the elaboration and illustration of what's been trending so far.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching Still Explore Ethiopia, a program that introduces you with Ethiopians' culture, tradition, heritage, and a lot more.
Here is a Christian religion, it is Christian church. So how can it stay here? Okay, you know the relation, the correlation of Islam and Ethiopia, Orthodox Church, especially Chinese and others.
This is the museum found in the premises of Raguel Church.
This is the legend, okay?
There are plenty of heritages that tells a lot of history and culture and treasures of Ethiopia.
Especially the church is built architecturally. When we are seeing it, it is unique architectural design. Ethiopians are keeping their history. It shows that the civilization, ancient civilization of Ethiopia.
It is one of the oldest museums.
Not only me, the whole visitors must bless these people, okay?
Ethiopia announced an increase in the number of scholarships for South Sudanese students in its universities to 210. This development follows a visit by the Ethiopian Minister of Education to South Sudan, where they signed the Ethiopian Cooperation Agreement. Ethiopia's Education Minister, Professor Birhanu Nega, reiterated that the two nations have gone through tough times and need to focus on education for a better future. Previously, Ethiopia provided 100 scholarships for both postgraduate and undergraduate, and 60 for technical education and vocational training. Gabriel Changson Chang, South Sudan's higher education minister, for his part, said the agreement will also provide for research exchange programs between South Sudanese universities and Ethiopian universities.
In today's episode, I have come to the Russian embassy here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Speaking about bilateral relations of countries, a special meaning is attained to the personal relationship between the leaders of the two countries.
How can Russia support Ethiopia?
We are aware of the amazing and really inspiring plans of increasing wheat production.
The Russian Federation shared that experience with Ethiopia in a sustainable manner.
Those people who have imposed these sanctions, they simply don't know well our history.
Going forward, what's the kind of foreign policy that Russia is planning on perpetuating?
Join our efforts to stop this stupid and insane policy of sanctions.
The French embassy in Addis Ababa has provided medical supplies worth 9 million birr to the Dessie Referral Hospital. French Ambassador to Ethiopia Remy Maréchal and various ministers arrived in Dessie town, Amhara State for a working visit. Ambassador Maréchal handed over in person 9 million birr worth of medical supplies to the Dessie Referral Hospital. On the other hand, it was stated that a new project to rebuild the Dessie Referral Hospital has been announced. ETV learned that Roland Kobian, the representative of the European Union delegation to Ethiopia, also attended the visit.